Why hello there and welcome to this video where we're going to do a field guide of the LEGO Disney 100 collectible minifigure series coming out on May the 1st. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here are all the minifigures all together. There is 18 of them and they all have rather unique parts to all of them which can be felt for. The first thing you're going to want to do is see if you can separate these parts diagonally across two corners of the bag. This is because some of the minifigures are inside a clear plastic bag inside the main bag. So if you can separate them, they're probably not in a plastic bag inside. The minifigures inside a plastic bag are Jiminy Fisher, Magician Mickey, Prince John, Evil Queen, Red Queen, and Cruella de Vil. These are the 6 minifigures that are in plastic bags that I could see in my research. There is a caveat in that some of the pieces might not be inside the plastic bag, as is the case with the Red Queen and her big dress piece, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So, starting now into the first batch of minifigures. The first minifigure on the very left is Robin Hood. As I said, no plastic bags, so you should be able to separate all these pieces out. To feel for is the very big moulded head, which you obviously want to be careful with comparing it to all the other moulded heads. This should have 2 triangular points with a third in the middle for the ears and the hat. You can also try feeling for the bow as well. Next to Robin Hood we have Prince John. He is in a plastic bag, so that is one of the minifigures you can probably not separate out easily the pieces in the bag. So obviously to feel for you have the moulded head and crown piece. The top of the piece will be rather round with 4 square sticking up pieces of the crown. You can also feel for his sack, which you could also confuse for another moulded head. So if there is what feels like 2 moulded heads in the bag, it's probably Prince John with his sack. And if you're very lucky, you can try and feel for a round 1x1 flat plate, but that would be rather difficult to feel for. Next we have Stitch, who is not in a plastic bag. What you want to feel for is the moulded head with the big ears, and on the torso of the minifigure will have 4 arms, which will probably be very distinctive to feel for. So yeah, the arms are probably your best bet for this one. He also has short minifigure legs, which will be helpful in narrowing it down to either Stitch or Miguel, both of which are the only 2 with short legs. Next we have Pocahontas, who is not in a plastic bag. The main thing to feel for is the swooshy hair piece, which goes out to one side, which none of the other minifigures have. You can probably try feeling for the one rounded 1x1 flat tile like Prince John has, but obviously no moulded head with this one. And there is also 3 leaf pieces as well, which should also be relatively easy to feel for. But again, main thing to go for is the swooshing hair. Next we have Mulan, who is not in a plastic bag. To feel for is the hairpiece, which will be a very straight down the back sort of hair, and also comes with a little fish bowl like thing made out of a few pieces, but the main thing to feel for is a sharp pyramid shaped 1x1 piece. And there's also the sword to feel for as well, which she is the only one to have a sword. However, there are other pieces like Jiminy Fisher's umbrella, which you could confuse it with. Next we have Baymax, who is not in a plastic bag. Main thing to feel for is the big arms on this minifigure, and we'll also have a lot of little pieces as well as part of the hoverboard thing. But yeah, big arms on the torso, and that's pretty much what you want to aim for. Next we have Tiana, who I can't say is in a plastic bag or not, as in my research it didn't come up. But there are other things you can feel for, most notably the 2x3 flat plate, which is pretty much your best bet. You can also try feeling for the dress piece legs, as this is obviously not normal legs and is a dress piece, of which there is only a few minifigures in the series that actually use a dress piece, so that will narrow it down. And you can also try feeling for the crown piece as well, however this is the same as what Princess Aurora has as well, so be careful with that. Next we have Dr. Felicio, or however you say that name. He is not in a plastic bag. Main things to feel for is his hat piece, however this is very similar to Jiminy Cricket's hat piece as well, so just to be aware with that. You could try feeling for the pole that he has of his staff, but that could be confused with the brush that Magician Mickey has. And you can also try for a flat 1x2 tile, which will be also rather small in the bag. But obviously you can try, again, separating the pieces out to rule out if it is Jiminy or Mickey Mouse, because both of those two are in plastic bags. Dr. Felicio is not. Next we have Ernesto de la Cruz. Main thing to feel for with this one is his massive hat. That is going to be the biggest giveaway for him. You can also feel for the guitar, but Miguel also has a guitar, so if you find a guitar, either go for the big hat piece or the legs of the minifigure, as Miguel has short and De La Cruz has long legs. And you can't really tell by the plastic bag inside, as they both have plastic, as they both don't have plastic bags. But speaking of Miguel, onto him. He is, as I just said, no plastic bags, but you can feel for two minifigure heads, as he has his skull face and his normal face. You can obviously also feel for the guitar, as previously said, and the dog piece as well, and the short legs. If you find the guitar, short legs, it's going to be Miguel. Now, on to the second batch of the minifigures as shown on Lego.com. First we have Oswald the rabbit. He is not in a plastic bag, but your best bet to feel for is his massive round moulded head with two big ears sticking up on top. You could also go for a flat 1x2 tile that he's holding, but again this is the same as Dr. Felicio, so be careful with that. But again, best bet, the head. Next we have the Evil Queen. She is in a plastic bag. Your best bets are the mirror piece and the pole. The mirror piece is just a normal shield piece, so there'll be a knob on the back that the minifigures can hold on to. Obviously with the pole, be careful of getting it confused with Mickey and Dr. Felicio. And this is the second minifigure with a normal 2x2 dress piece, so that will also help narrow it down. So mirror piece, dress piece, best bet. Next we have Jiminy Cricket. Contrary to what I've just been saying about there only being two minifigures with short legs, I've just noticed there's actually four, with Jiminy being one of them. So best bets for him, short legs followed by the hat, as the hat will be similar to Dr. Felicio, but the legs will be short to Felicio's long. Can feel for the umbrella, but that could easily be mixed up with Mulan's sword, possibly. And yeah, that's pretty much what you can feel for him. Magician Mickey is in a plastic bag, moulded head with a very large hat piece in a pyramid shape is your best bet. Could go for the pole as well, but as previously mentioned, there is multiple minifigures with a pole, but this is probably the longest one. Next we have the fourth short-legged minifigure of Pinocchio. So first thing, short legs and not in a plastic bag. And this one will also have two minifigure heads, so you could get it mixed up with Miguel. However, one of the minifigure heads will have a protrusion on the front for the nose, which is a very creepy minifigure in my opinion, and also will have a lot less parts than, for instance, Miguel. Next we have the Red Queen in a plastic bag, and this is the one with the big dress that is separate to all the pieces. But obviously this is a very large piece and should be very easy to feel for. Next we have Princess Aurora, so not in a plastic bag, owl piece, normal minifigure head, has the same crown piece as Tiana, so be careful with that. But this is the third minifigure with a dress piece of 2x2. So that is probably your best bet to feel for her. But it would be very easy to get mixed up with Kiana, as she also has a dress piece and a matching crown. So your best bet for Aurora is to get the owl, and the best bet for Kiana is the 2x3 flat plate. And the final minifigure is Cruella de Vil. She is in a plastic bag. She will have a little dog with her and will have an interesting hairpiece mould, which should be relatively easy to feel for. She also will have a 1x1 rounded piece as well, but that which would be the third minifigure with this piece. So it could be difficult to differentiate. I would say this is probably one of the harder minifigures to feel for, just due to the lack of really distinctive pieces. So yeah, that is all 18 minifigures. These come out on May the 1st for £3.49. I hope you found this video helpful and interesting on how to feel them, and I wish you the best of luck in finding them. So thanks so much for watching, subscribe, and I shall see you when I see you. Goodbye.